Hello?
Ma'am, we are not audible.
1 second.
Dustbin, ma'am.
Hello, Jasmine ma'am.
Am I audible now?
Yes,
Lalitaa
ma'am.
ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Attraction, it is the force with which the particles of matter attract each other. Then we had also learned kinetic energy of the particles. We know very well that kinetic energy is related to the motion of the object. So if the particles are in motion, they are showing some movement, that means they possess kinetic energy. So it is the quick review. We'll go to the next slide. Now the question arises of the actual lesson. It is all around change of state. Okay, so can matter change its state? Can we convert solid into liquid and liquid into gas? Again,
Yes.
gas into liquid. Can we do it? Do that?
Ma'am.
Yes, we can do that. These change of state, they are interconvertible. That means we can change the state of matter. How? They can be changed by changing the pressure or temperature, or they can change their state if both are changed, pressure as well as temperature. Now we will learn in detail how temperature affect their change of state and pressure affect their change of state. Before that, we should learn some terminology of conversion of state of matter. You might be aware of the words like melting, boiling, condensation, freezing. All these words you might be aware of, but we will learn in little bit more detail. So we have learned that in solids, the particles are attached or they are arranged very close to each other. There is no intermolecular space, very less intermolecular space. And in liquid, there is little bit of somewhat more intermolecular space as compared to the solid. Now, the change of state from solid to liquid is called as melting. It is also called as fusion. So, in exam, it may ask what is the or define fusion. So, what is fusion? Fusion is nothing but the change of state from solid to liquid. Now, from liquid to gas. Again, this term, the term what we use for change of state from liquid to gas is either boiling or vaporization. Vaporization. I have not used boiling point, children. Only boiling I have used. So it is the change of state from liquid to gas. What is the term used? Boiling or vaporization. Now here, children, they are or they just write instead of boiling, they write boiling point, or for vaporization they write evaporation. So both is wrong. The correct word for change of state of matter from liquid to gas is boiling and vaporization. Whereas boiling point and evaporation both are completely different from this concept. Okay, now this you can see it is marked with red arrow. Why it is marked with red arrow? Because this change of state of matter from solid to liquid and liquid to gas. That is the process of melting and the process of boiling. It takes place when the heat is provided to the state of matter. That is red arrow. You can see this red arrow because the heat is provided. Here, just to distinguish between two different colors are used. Now, when the change of state from gas to liquid take place, that process is called as condensation. And here you can see there is change of color. This is blue. That means heat is not provided, but heat is absorbed by, it is given out by the matter. Or heat is, it is cooled. Heat is not provided, but the matter is cooled. Again, from liquid to solid, this process is called as freezing, or in some books it is also given solidification. Okay, so the process of change of state from liquid to solid is called as freezing. Again, here heat is not provided, but it is allowed to cool. Is it clear? So these are the terminologies which you should learn. Now here I have made again a red arrow from solid directly to gas. This middle liquid state is skipped. That means there are few substances which are converted directly from solid to gaseous state. That process is called as sublimation, and those substances are called as sublimating substances. Even the reverse process takes place here. If temperature is lowered, then the substance or sublimating substance which are in gaseous state, they directly convert into solid. They do not come in this middle state, that is liquid state. Your queries will be solved afterwards, Vashisht. Vashisht, you can ask at the end. Is it clear? So these terms you should keep in mind. As I said, sublimating substances, they do not go to this intermediate step of liquid. They are directly converted from solid to gaseous state. From solid to gaseous state when heat is provided. Again from gaseous state to solid state when it is cooled. I have list few substances, out of which few are sublimating and few are not. Let us see. Sodium chloride, if you keep it in open or even if you heat it, it will not sublime. So it is not a sublimating substance. Ammonium chloride is a sublimating substance. Iodine, again, chlorine is not a sublimating substance. Dry ice, we will learn about dry ice in detail afterwards. Dry ice is nothing but solid carbon dioxide. There is a reason why dry it is written there. I'll tell you that also. Okay, dry ice is nothing but solid carbon dioxide. And again, naphthalene balls are sublimating substance. These balls are nothing which, these balls are the balls which you keep in the cupboard to keep the small insects away from your cupboard. If you keep your woolen clothes, like you do not use every woolen clothes, right? So when you don't need it, you keep it in cupboard or you keep it in some suitcase. So you put naphthalene balls there. And after say few days, if you see again those naphthalene balls, you will see the size of the naphthalene balls has reduced. Why? Because they have sublimated. They have evaporated. So effect of temperature on states of matter. When they are heated, they are converted into liquid. When they are heated, again, liquids are heated, they are converted into gaseous state. Some of the solid substances, they go directly to gaseous state sublimating. This is just a graphical representation, diagrammatical representation. fusion or melting. The process of melting of solid into liquid is called as fusion. Just the definition. Now, melting point. I said कि melting and melting point is different. So what is melting point? It is just the temperature. It is the temperature at which solids melt to become a liquid at atmospheric pressure. Now, what is this atmospheric pressure? We know that air exerts pressure on all the objects which exist on the earth. So that is nothing but atmospheric pressure, and that is 1 atmospheric pressure. That is 1 atmospheric pressure. Yes, 1 atm. So at normal atmospheric pressure, what temperature we require to convert a solid into a liquid, that becomes the melting point. Is it clear? So melting point is a temperature, but only melting is a process. So this is the difference. What is the melting point of water? What is the melting point of ice? It is 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin. We will discuss about the units of this temperature also, Kelvin and degrees Celsius. Okay, in the further slides. Is it clear? Melting point. So melting point is the temperature, whereas melting is a process. Again, we learn vaporization. Process is vaporization from liquid to gaseous state. But boiling point is the temperature at which liquid starts boiling at atmospheric pressure and it is converted into gaseous state. So boiling point is a temperature. So what is the boiling point of water? It is 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin. So now, these two temperature scales are mentioned in our textbook, Celsius and Kelvin. Fahrenheit is not referred in our textbook, so we will learn about Celsius and Kelvin only. Few things you should keep in mind. Celsius scale, the method of writing is degree Celsius. C is capital, degree Celsius. And Kelvin scale is written in the form of capital K. Kelvin scale is denoted by capital K, Celsius scale, degree Celsius. Here degree is not used. Is it clear? Degree is not used with Kelvin. Boiling point of water we have learned, boiling point of water 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin. Freezing point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Now, what is the relation between Kelvin and Celsius? So relation is, if you see here, the pictorial form, Kelvin scale, first of all, Kelvin is the standard international unit of temperature. And 0 Kelvin is nothing but absolute 0 temperature, which below this temperature, there is no temperature, there is no, temperature. This is the least, 0 Kelvin. But, and one more thing, Kelvin is never represented in negative digits. So 0 is the lower limit of the temperature. 0 Kelvin is the lower limit of the temperature. Below 0, there is no, temperatures are not denoted. If you see, there are 3 thermometers, Kelvin. This is showing Kelvin scale. This is degree Celsius or in Celsius scale, or it is, the third one is Fahrenheit scale.
Fahrenheit.
So Kelvin thermometer, if you say this is 0, if you compare this thermometer with Celsius thermometer, it is showing negative 273 degrees Celsius. And the Fahrenheit, it is showing minus 460 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so this is the lowest limit, the minimum limit of the temperature. Below this temperature do not fall, or we do not count, or the molecular activities do not take place below this. Now, when it is 0 degrees Celsius on the Celsius scale, it is equivalent to 273 Kelvin on the Kelvin scale, which is equivalent to 32 degree Fahrenheit. So these three temperatures are same. Similarly, when it is 100 degrees Celsius on Celsius scale, it is about 373 Kelvin on Kelvin scale. So for the conversion, we use Celsius is equal to Kelvin temperature minus 273. The questions are asked about this concept. Value of Kelvin temperature will be given and you have to convert it into Celsius. So you just have to subtract 273 from that value. You will get the temperature in Celsius. If the question is convert the given temperature into Kelvin, you just have to add 273 to it. So this is the relation between Celsius and Kelvin unit of the temperature. Is it clear, children? Okay. Now I'll explain you in detail what happens when heat is provided to solid and how it is converted into liquid. Am I audible, Malika ma'am?
Yes, somewhere it's breaking, but it's fine now. You're audible,
Okay.
but sometimes it's breaking. I think that's
Okay. Now the actual process. What happens when heat is provided to solid? How it is converted into liquid. It is given. I have shown you in the form of flow chart. Let's go in detail. Now, temperature increases. When does temperature increases? When heat is provided. Heat is provided probably through a burner. You can use a spirit lamp. We can take. We will take the example of ice.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Ice in the form of.
Jasmine
Yes,
ma'am, 1 second. Somebody is
Yes,
scribbling on whiteboard, so students are requested not to use whiteboard option, please. That scribbling can be seen on the screen as well. Fine? Yes, ma'am, please continue.
Okay. So temperature increases when heat is provided. So let's say this solid form is ice. Okay. Now what happens when heat is provided? Heat energy is gained by these particles. Now initially, as we have learned, these particles of solid, they possess energy, kinetic energy in the form in such a way that they are only vibrating on its mean position. They are only vibrating on its mean position. But once heat is provided, they gain energy from heat energy and they start, or the kinetic energy increases as they start moving vigorously. So kinetic energy increases when heat is provided. What happens after that? So as kinetic energy increases, the speed of particle, the speed of movement of particle also increases. And in the meantime, intermolecular space also increases. This space between the two particles, the space between the particle also increases because they are moving vigorously. They are moving with speed. What will happen if the intermolecular space increases? The intermolecular force of attraction, it decreases. Since they are attracted by a force which is called as intermolecular force of attraction. When they go away from each other, this force of attraction, it will decrease. And solid changes into liquid. Is it clear how solid changes into liquid on provision of heat? It is just because of increase of kinetic energy, the intermolecular space increases and intermolecular force of attraction, it decreases. Same is the case when, yes.
Ma'am, can we say that the intermolecular space and the intermolecular force of attraction are inversely proportionate to each other?
Inversely proportional, yes, yes, it is inversely proportional. Same is the case when the reverse case take place from from liquid to solid. Now, in the earlier slide, we had seen from solid to liquid. But in this slide, it is from liquid to solid, the reverse case. Don't look at this diagram. What happens? We have to decrease the temperature. That means we have to cool it, isn't it? We don't have to provide the temperature. Decrease, that means the water has to be kept in freezer, in the refrigerator, so that temperature decreases. Temperature decreases. Then what happens? As temperature decreases, the particles, it will lose the energy. It will start losing the energy. Due to that, the kinetic energy will decrease. The kinetic energy will decrease. And due to this, the speed of the particle also decreases. Then the intermolecular space decreases. That means the particles, they will come near each other. And then if they come near each other, the intermolecular force of attraction, it increases. And then solid changes into liquid. So this is all together vice versa of solid to liquid, solid to liquid. Okay. Now when there's change of state taking place, a peculiar thing is observed. That is latent heat. I'll explain you what is latent heat. First, we will do this activity. What do we have to do? We have to heat ice cubes in a beaker. Okay.
Your voice is breaking.
By heating, you have to insert a thermometer. Okay. What do we have to do? We have to insert a thermometer in the ice cubes. So what do you think? What will be the temperature initially when the ice cubes are in solid state? Probably below 0 degrees Celsius?
Yes, ma'am.
Let us consider the temperature initially when the ice cubes are taken out of the freezer. It is minus 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, now we have to heat it. Heat it vigorously. And at the same time, we have to plot this graph of temperature versus time versus temperature. Okay. So here say 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and 5 minutes. And here temperature minus 10 degrees Celsius, 0, 10, 20, like that. Okay. As you heat it, or as you heat ice, what will happen? Initially, the temperature will increase. From minus 10, it will come to minus 9, minus 8, 7, 6, 0. And you will see that when the mercury level on the thermometer, it comes to 0, there is no increase in temperature. There is no increase in temperature once it reaches 0. Okay. And we will see for some time the temperature remains at 0 only. It remains constant. And then when all the ice cubes are converted into water, the temperature again starts rising. Okay. Did you understand this graph, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Ronak?
Yes, ma'am.
Ronak, did you understand?
Yes,
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me
Yes,
tell you
ma'am.
once.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, once again. We have to, okay, mute yourself. So in a beaker, you have to take ice cubes and you have to insert a thermometer. We know that the temperature of ice is below 0 degrees Celsius. So probably it is, let us assume it is minus 10 degrees Celsius initially. When they are all ice cubes, let us assume that the temperature is minus 10 degrees Celsius. As you heat it, slowly and slowly, we have seen that how ice will be converted into liquid. So this, as the heat is provided, they will be converted into liquid state. As the time progresses, the temperature also increases from -10, -9 and out. When it reaches 0 degrees Celsius, you will see there is no increase in temperature. See, temperature is 0 degrees Celsius only. And then after some time, again it will show gradation of temperature. Okay, so they thought, okay, why this constant temperature? Why? For some time, why didn't the temperature increase? The reason behind that, was the latent heat. The latent heat. Okay. The meaning of latent is hidden. That means whatever heat was provided during this time, it was hidden, or this heat was what was used for conversion of state. Now, what is conversion of state? It was used for breaking the intermolecular force of attraction. You know, the force of attraction was there between the two particles. Okay, so when heat was provided at certain time, they were apart from each other, and one time came when these particles can overcome the force of attraction or break the force of attraction so that it will move further apart. And that heat was used for that purpose only. That is why there was no change in temperature. Is it clear? So that heat what was used, it was just hiding itself for overcoming the intermolecular force of attraction. So what is the latent heat? The heat energy which is used to break the force of attraction between the particles of matter, it is the latent heat. Since it is hidden, therefore it is called latent heat. Latent meaning is hidden. Hidden means we cannot see increase in temperature. Then where the heat is going, it is used for overcoming the intermolecular force of attraction. Same thing is seen when the state from liquid is changed to gaseous state. Okay, there are two different terms for them that we will learn in the next slide. So if there is change of state from liquid to solid to liquid, it is nothing but latent heat of fusion, because fusion is nothing but melting, right? Melting of solid to liquid. So what is that? The amount of heat energy required to change 1 kilogram of solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point is known as latent heat of fusion. That means when we take 1 kilogram of solid and we heat it, you will get a temperature at which you will get a point at which the temperature remains constant. Okay, so where that heat which is provided, which is being provided, where it is going? It is going to convert, it is going to overcome the force of attraction between the particles of solid into liquid. And at that time, whatever heat, amount of heat was required, that heat is nothing but latent heat of fusion. And of ice, latent heat of fusion of ice is 334 into 10 raised to power 3 joule per kg. Joule is the unit of, it is the unit of energy, heat energy. So 1 kg solid we have taken, joule per kg is the unit, and the value is 334 power T joule. Same is the case when we convert liquid into gaseous. It is the amount of heat energy required to change 1 kilogram of liquid into a gas at atmospheric pressure at its boiling point. It is known as latent heat of vaporization. Of water, it is 2260 into 10 raised to power 3 joule per kg. Till here it is clear, children?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Malika ma'am, what is the time left?
Yeah, 5 minutes, almost
What
done.
is the time left?
It's 9:30 almost.
Till now, do you have any doubt? Yeah, ma'am. Children, you can unmute yourself and you can one by one ask your doubt if you have any.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, changing from gas to solid state, ma'am, it would be deposition, no, ma'am?
You can use that word also, that term also. Sublimation is used in our textbook.
Okay, ma'am.
Any other thing?
I didn't understand the latent heat, that graph.
Latent heat is, see, this graph is nothing but a graph of temperature and time. Temperature and time. As the time passes, the temperature increases, right?
Yes,
But
ma'am.
at certain point, there is no increase in temperature. Why there is no increase in temperature? Because whatever heat was provided, it was not used to increase the temperature, but it was used to break the intermolecular force of attraction. That is why this constant graph was seen. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other?
Students are
No, ma'am.
requested not to chat or
No, ma'am.
have personal chat on the chat box, please.
In the next session. Till now, any doubt, children? So, from the worksheet, if the questions are based on the topic covered so far, you can start writing in your book.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Ask your doubts in next.
Jasleen, ma'am, I have a question.
Please ask me.
Ma'am, ma'am, can blood evaporate?
Blood is, see, it is the mixture wherein blood cells are there, which are embedded in water. Water gets evaporated. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
ma'am, a question, ma'am. Like, what will be the about transitional matter then, ma'am?
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, will these properties allow on transitional matter too?
Transitional matter. Somewhat. They follow all these properties. Yes, Kanish.
Ma'am, I'm not able to hear you properly, ma'am.
Kanish, did you
Ma'am, your voice is breaking out.
ma'am, your voice is not clear.
hello, hello.
Students, those who are not having doubt, please put yourself on mute. Students, those who are not having any doubts.
Yes, Kanish.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
So your question was, do transitional matter also follow this property?
Yes,
they
ma'am.
do. Yes. Yes, they do.
Ma'am, what is transitional matter?
We will learn in higher classes. Till now, whatever I have taught from our this first lesson, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See this latent heat of fusion and vaporization. These are the important terms. These are the important concept of the lesson. You should learn or you should understand that. Then you will be able to write the definition on your own.
Yes.
Have you started solving the worksheet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Jasprit ma'am, it's done.
Okay.
Almost 9:40.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, students, the class is over now.
Have a good day, children.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
त्याच्याकडे बघाय मला माहित. तू दिसतंय का त्याला?